As the final episodes of Yellowstone prepare to hit the small screen, the fans of the critically acclaimed series are bracing themselves for what many have called the end of an era. The powerful, emotionally charged drama about the Dutton family headed by the hard-edged patriarch, John Dutton, played by Kevin Costner, has become one of the most popular and talked about television shows in recent years. Set against the vast, untamed landscapes of Montana, Yellowstone has captivated audiences with its gripping portrayal of power struggles, family dynamics, and the constant battle to protect the family ranch from external and internal threats. For 5 seasons, viewers have followed the complex and often tumultuous lives of the Dutton family, whose members struggle with their personal demons while also battling for control over the sprawling Yellowstone ranch. However, as the series nears its conclusion, the departure of Costner, who has become synonymous with the role of John Dutton, has thrown the show into uncharted waters. Costner's exit, which was confirmed amid ongoing reports about scheduling conflicts and creative differences, has left many fans wondering how the series can continue without its central figure. Luke Grimes, who plays John Dutton's son Kayce, is one of the key figures in the Yellowstone cast who has spoken out about the challenges and emotional weight of finishing the story without Costner. In an interview with Fox News Digital, Grimes discussed how the cast, including himself, was largely kept in the dark about the specific details of Costner's departure. While rumors had circulated for months about Costner's potential exit, the actual confirmation came as a surprise, and not just for the fans, but for the actors who had worked alongside Costner for years. The uncertainty surrounding the decision left Grimes and his fellow cast members in an awkward position, unsure of what the next steps for the series would be. There was a lot of chatter over the years, Grimes explained, but we always assumed that Kevin would eventually step away, either due to the demands of the show or just natural progression. What we didn't know was how it would happen, and when it did, it was like this wave of realization hit us all. Kevin had been such a huge part of the show, and the thought of continuing without him, especially in such a pivotal role, was something none of us really prepared for. Despite the uncertainty, Grimes emphasized that the Yellowstone cast had always known that the story would eventually have to move beyond the Dutton patriarch. John Dutton, a larger-than-life character whose influence was felt throughout the show, had been at the center of the drama from the beginning. However, Grimes acknowledged that while the show's premise was always built around a multi-generational family saga, the Duttons' struggle for control of the ranch could never be entirely about one man. Still, the timing and manner of Costner's departure have been a source of frustration for many of the show's key players. There's no denying that Kevin's presence made the show what it was. Grimes continued. But the show has always been about the family. It's about the legacy of the Duttons. And in that sense, it made sense for the story to evolve beyond him. Still, it was tough. We didn't know what the next season was going to look like. We weren't sure how we were going to handle the aftermath of losing such a pivotal character. It wasn't until much later that we found out how the final episodes were going to be structured. In the wake of Costner's exit, speculation began swirling about the future of Yellowstone. With production delays stretching into the summer of 2024 and the uncertainty surrounding Costner's involvement, many wondered how the show would continue without its leading man. Would the show attempt to recast the role of John Dutton? Or would it move forward by focusing on the next generation of Duttons? Grimes shared that, while there were discussions about what the future might hold, no one could predict what direction the show would take. There was a lot of uncertainty, and we were all just waiting for the word from the producers, Grimes said. I think we all knew that the family dynamic would still be central to the show, but we had no idea what that would look like without Kevin. It was a real challenge for everyone involved. Grimes also revealed that he had deep admiration for Costner, who he described as a mentor and a true leader on set. Kevin's work ethic and dedication to the craft were infectious, Grimes said. He's such a professional, and he made us all want to give our best. He always had time to chat with us and give us advice. He's the kind of person who leads by example, and we all really respected him for that. It wasn't just his acting. It was the way he treated people and the way he approached the material. The question of how the show would deal with the loss of its central character was made even more complicated by Costner's own public comments about the situation. In June 2024, Costner spoke out about his departure from Yellowstone in an interview with People magazine, where he revealed his frustrations with the production delays and the direction the show was heading. It was disappointing to me, Costner said. The thing that was really tough was that I was committed to the show and I was committed to finishing the story. But there were so many factors at play that made it harder for me to continue. There was a lot of uncertainty about when the show would come back, and I just couldn't afford to sit around and wait. Costner, who had been a driving force behind the success of Yellowstone, explained that, at a certain point, the logistics of the production, including the prolonged breaks between seasons, made it difficult for him to stay fully committed. There were a lot of things that came into play, he continued. There were issues with the scripts, with scheduling, with the way the production was handled. And in the end, it became clear that I couldn't keep up with it all. Despite the difficult circumstances surrounding his exit, Costner remained appreciative of his time on Yellowstone and the impact it had on his career. "It was an incredible experience," he said. "I'll always be grateful for what the show did for me and for the fans who supported it. I'm just sorry that it ended this way." As the final episodes of Yellowstone approach, the fans of the show are gearing up for what is sure to be an emotional and dramatic conclusion. The final chapters of the Dutton family saga will likely be filled with action, heartbreak, and family betrayals as the remaining characters fight to preserve what's left of their legacy. Grimes, who has portrayed Kayce Dutton since the show's inception, shared that the final episodes will offer fans a chance to see the characters evolve in ways they never expected. "It's going to be a wild ride," Grimes said. "The final episodes are really about the family coming together and fighting for what they believe in. There's a lot of heartbreak, but there's also a lot of triumph. And in the end, it's about the Duttons finding their place in the world and coming to terms with their legacy." Kelsey Asbill, who plays Monica, Kayce's wife, echoed Grimes' sentiments about the final episodes, stating that it was an emotional experience to say goodbye to the characters they had worked with for so many years. "There's a sense of finality to it all," she explained. "We've spent so much time with these characters and we've been through so much with them. Saying goodbye is never easy, but we're proud of what we've created, and I think fans will really appreciate how we've wrapped up the story." As for the future of the Yellowstone franchise, the legacy of the show is already secure, despite the uncertainties surrounding its conclusion. While Costner's departure is certainly a pivotal moment in the show's history, it's clear that Yellowstone has become more than just a television series, it's a cultural phenomenon. The show has sparked spin-offs, including 1883 in 1923, which explore the history and origins of the Dutton family. As Yellowstone winds down, the Dutton legacy is set to continue in new ways, and the franchise is expected to live on for years to come. In conclusion, while the departure of Kevin Costner has left a hole in the heart of Yellowstone, the show's fans are still eagerly anticipating the final episodes. The Dutton family saga, filled with complex characters, high-stakes drama, and emotional depth, is set to come to a thrilling conclusion. Whether or not Yellowstone will continue without its patriarch remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: the legacy of the Dutton family and their battle to preserve their ranch will continue to resonate with audiences for years to come.